Penn State got their guy in Matt Campbell. Even if you ignore all the drama and embarrassment of this public coaching search, you have to ask the question, is this an upgrade over James Franklin? When Penn State made the decision to fire James Franklin back in October, there were a lot of people that came out and said this was a terrible firing. But I stood firm in the fact that what would determine the tone of this firing to me is what Penn State did next. Do they have a home run hire lined up? Do they have another guy with their sights set on that they think they can go get? And as it turns out, they did have several guys they thought they could go get. They pursued Cignetti a little bit. He ends up signing a massive extension. They went after Rule and reportedly a few other names. And then the big push was made for Kalen DeBoer, but that also fell through. So they do go out and hire Matt Campbell. I think it's a good hire. I think he's an underrated coach. He actually has a better record against top 10 opponents at Iowa State, which is definitely notable. But is he a massive upgrade over James Franklin? I think part of the reason you fire a guy like Franklin in this situation is if you're guessing that he's actually not doing as much for your program as you think. But some of the early indications, like the commitment flips that have occurred and tanked Penn State's recruiting class to a laughable 155th ranking behind South Dakota State, have indicated, Franklin was actually doing a lot and carrying a lot of weight. The idea of hiring a guy like Campbell is you find a guy that had success with minimal resources at Iowa State and you put him in a better situation with better resources at Penn State where it's just a plug and play for success. However, it's not a plug and play. It's not a great situation. James Franklin took all the recruits with him. They're coming off a 6-6 season. There's a lot that he's going to have to do to get his feet under him, and he's going to be playing Ohio State and Oregon and Michigan and Indiana almost every year. So that's not a great situation to find success in at all. We're going to find out if he can level up his game. And you ask yourself, what will be considered success going from Franklin to Campbell? It's winning a national title. It's the reason Franklin was fired. So the bar is set unbelievably high for Matt Campbell to be considered a success. In a vacuum, I like the hire. I gave it an A. But when you consider the firing of Franklin and the hiring of Campbell, I think this is like a C- or a C. They botched this. They botched this really bad. They picked the worst offseason to fire Franklin, and they had an embarrassing coaching search. They do get Campbell. I like him as a coach. I wish him the best, but I'm just not sure if he can do what they need him to do.